Hello and welcome back to Europa Universalis III, where quite a significant amount of time has passed and a few things have happened that I will go into after we've done, after we're done with our war here. I really want to take Brandenburg at some point, so I've been waiting for an opening, waiting for the big powers to be busy, that stuff. But nothing ever really materialized, so I thought I'm just gonna try it regardless, even though technically we're at war not only with Brandenburg right now, but with Austria, with France, with Lithuania, which, well, Lithuania is kind of irrelevant at this point, but Hungary is also not that big anymore, so it's basically Austria, France, and Lithuania. Thankfully, it's not Bohemia for some weird reason that I can't quite fathom. Anyway, for some additional weird reason, the Hansa is leading the war, which seems like a particular odd choice to me. Anyway, we'll probably have to deal with multiple threats at the same time. So I have one army here that'll deal with Lithuania. Could try and increase the pressure on Lithuania by asking Moldavia to join the war. Are they... might get attacked by Hungary in turn, which might not be ideal. Blackov might be able to help though. Some more troops here, just realized. Well, we'll see. So, turn down the speed a little bit. So now you're here. Since the Hansa is leading the fight, I'll try and reach a separate peace with Brandenburg as soon as I can. General is dead, of course. Just very first fight. But I need that guy, We're gonna make our ruler to a general right now. We have a son who's also already pretty old too, so we can just throw away leaders if we have to. I'll probably also recruit another general, though getting him to one of the armies was not gonna be that easy. Anyway. Touch siege here. Magdeburg have honored their military alliance with Hansa. Are you sure, Magdeburg? Because I might just be interested in taking you as well. Because I have a mission of taking Mecklenburg. So... might as well. Alright. Siege here. Gone. Wait, let's sieging. That's a siege here. We used a very specific casus belli, which is to purge them of heresy, because I just embraced a new idea, unam sanctum, which basically gives us casus belli for anyone who's not our faith. because the whole imperialism and liberating people casus belli isn't really working out too well when you just have small, cluttered German states. Let's see. Oldenburg honored a military well. As long as nobody takes control away from Hansa, I don't really care who else is in the war. I doubt any one of you is able to deal with my fleet. Even all of them at the same time, I think I have a pretty decent chance. Alright. Give. Alright. Touch and go. Yeah, the Hansa refuses. Income will suffer, but won't be helped really. Alright, detach siege and move to Lübeck. You might be wondering, must be right, I can't afford to lose stability. Anyway, you might be wondering why Vorpommern and Stettin have our colors now. The reason is rather simple. I had Pomerania vassalized for quite some time, and recently I also decided to just fully incorporate them into Prussian territory, so that I get the full bonuses from them. Because with the way my expansions are planned to go, they would have been a kind of a weird spot where they would be surrounded by us on all sides, except the seaboard. So I think the benefits outweighed their potential loss there. Alright, I saw Hansa fleet there somewhere. Not sure where they're going. They might be going after my colonies. Yeah, we have colonies now, which is a little bit weird, and they might be going after those. Well, in that case, farewell colonies, I guess. I don't really care about those much. Wanted to do something. I got the first of those colonies on a weird issue that I'll talk about in a second, I guess. New groups. Make groups of 2 infantry. Here. Touch siege. Let go here. Here. So we had you know what's the name of that? Personal union with the rest of the English provinces for quite some time before that. At some point, they just offered themselves to fully incorporate themselves into Prussia, which I thought, you know, what am I gonna do with 2 provinces surrounded by Scotland that are far away from the rest of my provinces? So I just gave them their freedom back, but since they didn't have a claim yet on their colony here, I thought, you know, just gonna keep that. Try out Connolly life, yo. We'll see. So far, I've been paying quite a bit of money into there for not really much gain, but that's how that always starts, to be honest. So far, no French or Austrian army has materialized. They are fighting other wars too. Austria are fighting against the Ottomans, and the French are fighting against Prussia. Yeah, that's us. Fighting against Flanders, which is probably the more immediate concern of them. Well, let's stop patrolling. Stop patrolling, right? Go here. Didn't I tell you to load up on the freaking Marines? Why the hell did you leave without them? Jesus, man, sometimes ships. Do the weirdest things. Anyway, this regiment is just being normally fully incorporated into the fleet, which has enough transports to hold them. And they can just go places where they need to be immediately. Like if the Hansa should show up with an army here, technically I have something to do to deal with that. Also a very small regiment of expeditionary forces just right there, but they'll probably not be able to do much by them on their own. Württemberg just runs into their death. Weird. Could detach some of the cavalry. Take an impromptu 9th army. I can deal with these guys if they decide to show up again. Siege, go here. Up, alright. Go here. Yeah, Felso. Right. Don't really need that right now, but thank you. And for the trained medicus, I guess. Although I could just pray! Oh. Died, okay. We have more than one heir. That's a little bit weird about this system compared to Crusader Kings, where we had a whole family of people who sometimes might be a problem because some of them didn't really have a chance to inherit anything, so they wanted to you know, create problems instead. For these small offhand chance that they might at some point inherit if they create enough problems for you. Here in this game, just having, you know, one sole heir is a little bit weird, you know, because he was like 50, he probably had children, right? It's worrisome. Was it just about to win our sieges here? You know, moving away. Doesn't matter. Alright. Focus over. Eden is also progressing really well. Go back to the army. Someone decides to show up now. So we can increase the pressure by moving the Marines over here. Then laying siege to Hamburg too. These guys. Probably want to attack one of these. Oh, now they're moving back. Mine, son. Wait. Thank the gods I built more ships. Not that's all the French fleet, but might be more coming in. But seems like we're winning this fight. And we captured a bunch of their frigates. I call them frigates. They're classified as light ships, but I'll just call them frigates. I don't care. Anyway, I think those are actually frigates, but I digress. I don't want to risk following them and running into the rest of their ships. I don't know. Play it safe. Well, European is over. Technically, we can make peace with Brandenburg now. No, I'm not gonna... Am I gonna annex all of them? I get 12 infamy, which would put me over the infamy limit, which means everyone that really hates me will probably just show up and try and kick my ass. What are the other options? I could vassalize them. I can't also force religion on them, because without, you know, the religion change, just vassalizing them doesn't benefit me much, because in order for them to... Oh, wait. Wait a second. Have a relation of 190 or more. Okay, so they just need to be my vassal. So if I just force them to be my vassal, I can still annex them later. I don't need them to be in the same religious group. Okay. Well, that would make things a little bit less scary. Cancel treaties with Hansa, revoke a core on Neumark, and Mecklenburg, because I'm just about to annex that in a moment. Anyway, you can keep all your provinces, but you work for us now. Do that. How quaint. Anyway, we could probably stop this war at any point in time now. Although, you know, taking Mecklenburg at least is an intriguing prospect. Or just vassalizing both of them and then just being able to take them later. Because I need this whole area around here, I need in order to, you know, make the form Germany decision. It's basically all the areas around that particular area. Is Mecklenburg, Altmark, Brandenburg, yeah. It's pretty much this circle, plus Thüringen and Franken. So, plus these two for some weird reason that I can't quite get yet. But, anyway, I'll probably want to get these provinces. Maybe I'll annex Mecklenburg and vassalize them so they can keep Altmark. Maybe that'll be a reasonable compromise. That's still building up too much infamy, right? Gain a core on Brandenburg, but that doesn't mean that we don't have to deal with the infamy. So I need to start thinking about hiring an anti-infamy advisor, because we'll have to deal with a lot of infamy very soon. Oh, and no, not an ambassador. Name of that guy. Who was an advisor for that? Somewhere. There, diplomat. I'll probably need one of those, so gonna go to 100 culture. Hire one of these guys immediately. Hire him. Not sure for whom. I think I can live without government tech for the time being. I have to. Gonna hire the infamy guy. It'll take some time before we can do any annexing here, but I'd rather not go over 10 infamy if I can avoid it. Alright. Just here. Maybe there's another incursion happening at some point. Oh, there's no French fleet here anywhere to be seen. So we're gonna move back here. Start visiting Hamburg, I guess. French fleet? There is a French army in Bremen for some reason. Rather big one too. Apparently they can't move out of here. And with the fleet destroyed, you know, they have to get new ships to transport them away. So far nobody's attacked my colonies, which I find weird. But good. Still not moving. They're probably just were deployed here, then a naval battle happens, and now they're just stranded. Tough life. Alright. I think the next vassal that I'm gonna annex is gonna be Brandenburg then. Because I also need cores on the provinces for them to count for the whole Germany thing. Alright, come on, let's get these sieges done. Mecklenburg is not progressing quite as fast as I would like it to. About. Or do they have a... They only have a level 2. Also, Lübeck has not progressed at all. I'm not entirely sure how the mechanic works, if it progresses faster if you have more infantry sieging it, or if it's just random. What the hell? That's gonna be a fun fight. Apparently I have something to do for the Marines anyway. I do need to retake it, or peace negotiations won't give that back to me. It's slightly weird. With the colonies, I can talk a little bit about the colony system, I guess, because I know that rather well. There's basically 2 stages of colonization. One is the preliminary phase, which is the moment you send a colonist there, they build up a colony. You always send colonists in packs of 100 people, which is one colonist over here. Then you start a colony. The first time you try it, the chance is significantly lower than on successive attempts. Like for here, it would maybe be like 40% or something. On repetitive attempts, it's a little bit higher because you already have some people there. Once that happened, the colony enters the preliminary phase. At which point you'll have to pay a monthly upkeep just to keep it going. And then it slowly grows at a rate of about 50-ish, people per year. Just a naval battle here that we won. Do they have a bigger fleet? I would have thought French had a, much bigger fleet than this. Well, they might be busy somewhere else. Anyway, so then it grows on its own by like 50 people a year. You can also send more colonists to speed it up. But while in this stage, if any hostile military force enters it, it immediately flips because it doesn't have a fort or anything. There's nothing to lay siege to. It just go there and take control of it. So back. Should have a defensive advantage here. No, apparently we do not. And they have a commander, so we're probably gonna lose this fight. We have cavalry here though, just a bit, but not very good for defensive purposes. Alternatively, I could just load the save and just end the war earlier. I would really like to deal with, Magdeburg. Can get going. Denmark is now at war too. When Denmark has taken up control of the fights for some reason. I'm not entirely sure how this mechanic works, but it makes stuff a whole lot more complicated. Based on prestige, right? Because Hansa had prestige of 0. It's all messed up. I'm gonna load a save from earlier. I'm sorry. Actually wanted to load the other save. Still a month earlier. They might just be able to get to North America in time. Anyway. Let's go here. There's no natives here, so I can also just move my people here. In that case, if they decide to land here, they would have to make an amphibious landing and have negative modifiers, hoping us to win that. But they'll probably just send down somewhere else instead, so... There's that. So far, there's been no ships. I believe France already did refuse our merchants. Some of the ships that we should just captured because they're damaged, we might just lose them along the way. But that's okay. So still see no French troops here anywhere. Didn't walk, right? Oh, Denmark is at war. It's a little bit earlier this time. Make up your mind, Denmark. I might have been just waiting for my fleet to pull somewhere else. No. That's vassalization. And I guess you can cede one province, like Brandenburg, for instance. So I can already start building that. Oh no, it's the capital. Never mind. What stopped me from just annexing them totally? Hope infamy for everything. Weirdly enough, just asking them to cede Potsdam and Rupin just costs 2 infamy each. Do I need any of those? I mean, they're nice provinces, no doubt. Could just take them over later and keep them as kind of a separate fighting force on their own. Not having to deal with, uprisings now. Always do that later. Yeah, since I'm gonna integrate them later anyway, it's probably a better choice. Before I do any of that though, influence. Done some influence. I'm already close to the cap. Probably missed that last time. Alright, so vassalization. Don't really care about your deeds with Hansa, to be honest. Just claims. So we have a few percentages left, so Lithuania and Hansa joined the war, so all treaties with Hansa. Okay. Move on. So, how about those French troops? Still haven't shown up. They know, make just different decisions just to troll me. Possible. Get that siege. Let's get that siege done quickly, please. Probably need some repairs. Ungar when you're finally there. If the French army doesn't materialize, though, we could just scare the Danish people here. Thought they're at the end of the world in Greenland, and no one would ever come here and lay siege to their colony. Although speaking of that, are those colonies fully developed down here? 9,000. Acadia is not, but it's kind of far away from the rest. Never mind. Here ships. Don't know. Not except white peas. That's why this was better with Hansa in control. Much better. I mean, I get it. Technically, they outnumber us like almost 10 to 1, apparently. So, you know, I can get that, but so far they haven't been really a threat to us in any reasonable regard. And the game has crashed. Fancy. The first time that happened during recording. It had happened a few times before, but that's the first time it happened during recording. Ah. You know what, I'm gonna finish up this war one way or the other off screen. I'll tell you about how we ended up solving things next time. Have a good one.